You're listening to the Drinks and a Movie podcast, hosted by Rudy Ruiz. Spoiler alert.
All right, hello everyone. Welcome to another episode of Drinks and a Movie podcast. I've got a special guest here for the third time. Honored to have Danny De La Paz on the show.
Thank you, sir. Third time is a charm, as they say.
Today, we're going to be just discussing, everybody, the importance of physical media, why we love it, why we think it's the way to go. We're going to show off some of our collections. You clearly got some really banger pieces from what I can see already. I'm just over here with
and these are just DVDs. A few. You can imagine.
But yeah, and we'll just be talking movies in general, which is going to be a lot of fun. I've been wanting to just chat. Just film, just cinema with you for a long time. So,
but particularly the subject of physical media for all those out there who are, either into it or thinking about getting into it, as opposed to just streaming, or doing the digital thing. Mm-hmm. This should be an interesting little, podcast.
Oh yeah, gonna be a good topic. So I guess first, let's get into our drink. We're gonna do. This is the Vida Loca Mockarita, lime orange botanicals, nitro. So we just have a mocktail margarita here.
Shall we? Pop it open.
Non-alcoholic.
You're doing yours with no ice.
Yeah, straight up.
Straight up, no chaser. But I'm going to give it a little bit of the chill factor.
Love that sound.
Yes, I like it
cool,
too.
Cooling me off already. All right, cheers.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, that's not bad at all. Wow.
Not too sweet.
Yeah. Botanicals, it does have a little bit of earthy is not quite the right way to put it, but maybe a little minty. Yeah. Just a little bit. But that's good. That's really easy. Nitro, I get it. Yeah, it does have that smooth,
I like that. It's smooth.
Kind of vibe.
It's very smooth. Refreshing.
Right. Yeah.
Refreshing. Reminds me of like a mint julep or something.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. Good old Southern drink.
Yeah, not bad at all. So anyone who's looking for a, like non-alcoholic margarita type drink, this is it.
Sometimes you want to be sociable, but you don't really want to drink alcohol.
Yeah.
Maybe you got to work the next day, or maybe you just don't want to drink alcohol anymore.
Yeah.
There's a lot of options now for people. There's even some that are infused with various kinds of things that will help you feel more calm or a little bit more enthusiastic, shall we say.
Yeah, I noticed the one that you initially sent me to get, and I wanted to. It just wouldn't have been.
It wouldn't have been here quick enough. Yeah, Breeze, was it Breeze?
Yeah, or it was like Alpos or something.
The original one was Aplos.
Aplos, okay.
Yeah,
and I know it said something about we're talking about like calming and this and that. Like it had
one is calming and one's called Arise.
Okay,
you can buy the pair, but it's like $50 a bottle. It's not cheap, But I thought it was very good.
Yeah, I was interested in trying it and. When I did see that the 2-day shipping was another like $70, I was like,
forget it. Yeah.
I don't know about that.
But what's cool about those drinks is that I can socialize with my friends who are drinking, and it does kind of change your mood a little bit.
Yeah.
But you're not going to get hungover.
Right.
And I love that.
Yeah.
I can have a good time. I can laugh. I can enjoy the company of my friends and, just being social and not feeling like, okay, everybody's on a different page now than I am because I'm straight up sober,
Yeah, no, definitely. That is important to like just feel like you're on the same page. Yeah. Like you said. Well, I mean, let's dig into
so much
this,
for the drinks. Now let's get into the movies.
Here's the big part. I've been wanting to do an episode on this very topic of physical media, being someone who's really into getting Blu-rays and whatnot. And I wasn't sure who to do it with. I don't really know any other people that like collect like me. And then when I saw your play recently, which amazing work, by the way.
Thank you for that. Thank you. The Last Angry Brown Hat by Alfredo Ramos.
Mm-hmm. And maybe we'll talk about that more in the end. But, you had brought up to me doing this episode and I was super stoked. I was like, all right, finally someone's down and like really passionate, like clearly super passionate about it.
Hey, I brought this part of my collection from San Antonio, Texas.
Yeah.
So I had to fly with these puppies, you know, and I had to have them on me because I wouldn't trust, putting them on the airplane and just letting them toss that stuff around like footballs. Right.
Yeah, man. So I'm so glad that if I'm gonna have this conversation, it's with you. And
I feel the same. I'm stoked to be here too because I don't have a lot of people I could talk about or even share this with.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah.
Because people just are into streaming and that's the end of it,
Yeah. And it's too bad. I mean, I know for me, and interject whenever you want, and we've talked about this before, like streaming to me is very scary because we're at a point where they're re-editing and cutting scenes out of movies. Disney's notorious for that. I've heard that Amazon's done some degree of that to some classic film. I haven't seen it
without
with my
even
own
telling
eyes.
people that they're doing it.
Yeah, they just go and do it. So you think about people like younger kids or younger generation coming up that are going to watch what we would consider a classic, and they're going to get some neutered version of it and not even know.
That's a good word, neutered.
Yeah.
The pelotas have been removed.
Yeah. So that's something that's worrying. And just the fact that, they can delete entire movies and entire catalogs if they're not being viewed enough or they don't want to pay the licensing. I think a lot of people think that, it's on streaming, it's just there forever. Yeah. Like, no, they're paying licensing.
They think they're going to have access to this stuff whenever they want, and that's just not the case.
Yeah.
With physical media, you can watch it whenever you want, uncensored.
Mm-hmm.
The power, you are in control. You have the power. And that's how I like it to be.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, and I've mentioned this to you before, you're watching an excellent movie. You're into the last reel, the last 10 to 15 minutes of the film. Let's say American Me, for example.
Yeah.
The last 15 minutes, oh my God, it's all being wrapped up. That's some of the best part of the whole movie.
Right.
It's like a 2 hour and 10 minute movie.
Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden, rendering, OMG, I want to get my chancla and throw it at the screen. That pisses me off so much. With physical media, it stops when I want it to stop. Mm-hmm. If I have to go to the bathroom, take a phone call, I just pause it.
Yeah.
I'm in control. That's what I like.
Yeah.
I don't want somebody else to be in control of what I'm watching. Mm-hmm. I can raise the volume, lower the volume. I can make it any way I want it to be. I can control it completely. I don't have to worry about it's, a thunderstorm coming like in Texas where I live. We have thunderstorms. Yeah. And when the thunderstorms happen, the cable goes out. Yeah. So there you are. With your fabulous collection of, your streaming library, which is absolutely useless to you now because you do not have access to it. Mm-hmm. I don't even need Wi-Fi to watch all of this.
Yeah.
I don't need that.
Yeah.
My friends can't believe I don't have Wi-Fi. I don't need Wi-Fi. I don't want Wi-Fi. I mean, I use my hotspot if I need to.
And there are oftentimes like putting some kind of compression on it too, where you can see the macro blocking and the little squares and pixels sometimes. Like when you've got a Blu-ray or a 4K UHD, whatever, like you're not getting any of that. You're getting the least compressed, highest quality version of it, really. And on the tip of it having a buffer. Then sometimes
buffering, that's what I meant, not rendering, but buffering.
And sometimes even when it's done buffering, it'll like drop the quality down to standard def because it's trying to catch up still.
And then it may come back again, but who knows? Maybe it won't.
Yeah.
And you'll be watching it in that standard def for the rest of the film.
Yeah.
It's frustrating.
Can't do that. And I mean, the fact that I've heard, I've never paid for digital copies of movies because I buy my Blu-rays. But I've even heard of some situations, I forget which companies, but where you think when you buy your digital copy, all right, that's it. I bought it. It's mine.
It's yours forever.
Like it's streaming.
And one day you go to look
mine.
for it and it's not there.
And they delete it. Yeah, they just get rid of it, even though you paid, which is, pretty wild. So.
And think about, the House of Mouse. Mm-hmm. Okay, and how notorious they are for taking films off the list. They're not going to offer these films anymore. Yeah. So if you already have them on physical media, you don't have to worry about that. Mm-hmm. You can watch anytime you want.
Yeah. That's one thing that's a bummer with newer shows too, that even television shows that are created by streamers, a lot of times they won't even release a Blu-ray or a DVD. So you don't even have the option. Like I love the show Atlanta from Hulu. I want to watch it, but I can't buy it.
Yeah.
And I don't even have a Hulu account anymore. So I just can't see it, which is a real
So basically
shame.
You're asked out.
Yeah. And then, now there's this whole situation where they're like constantly raising the prices or they're putting ads on everything as a mean to, now
Raise
there's
revenue.
ads.
Yeah.
So if you don't want ads, you have to pay X amount more.
Yeah.
And every 6 months or a year, you hear, Netflix went up again. This went up again.
You're playing their game, basically.
Yeah.
They're in charge. And that's what I don't really appreciate. I want to call the shots.
Oh, yeah.
It's more of a leader follower thing to me. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not the follower type, really.
Yeah.
You know, I'm more the leader type. I want to be in charge of how I want to view the films that I love. And I love the new technology, the 4K UHD, because of the respect it pays to the craftsmanship that went into making these movies. Yeah. And I'm talking about movies that are 100 years old. Yeah. You know, from 1925, not 2025, that just look amazing because of this technology.
Yeah, there's some folks out there that put out some really incredible like restorations of some older films. Just to your point of also respecting the crafts and the crafts people that make this stuff happen. You know, we're talking about is a House of Mouse, notorious deleting stuff. I mean, for example, anyone who might not know, they did that show Willow a couple years ago, like a follow-up to the movie. I guess not a lot of people watched it, so they just deleted it, and you can't get it. Again, you can't buy it. And besides the consumer side of it, what's really unfortunate is the fact that a bunch of people worked on that show, actors, crew, above the line, below the line, and they just delete. And now it's like
their work never even existed.
Yeah, and I mean, sure, they got a payday, and that's nice, but you want to see it. Like, it just sucks. Like,
and you want to put it out there into the universe.
Yeah, here's what we did.
And let it resonate with whoever's supposed to resonate with.
Yeah. Yeah, and maybe the audience isn't big, but someone out there is going to appreciate it.
Maybe like some films that I've done in the past, some independent features, it's taken a couple of decades for it to find its audience, but they find their audience. Yeah. And that's how they become cult films.
Oh, yeah.
But they need time.
Mm-hmm. I mean, let's get into it. Yeah, you brought a bunch of goodies. I brought some goodies. I'm like nowhere near as ready as you, but let's see.
All right, let's start with, you know, as a kid, as a youngster, I was obsessed with the Beatles. Mm-hmm. I mean, I just loved the Beatles. The minute I heard the Beatles, that the craftsmanship of their music, you know, the musicianship, the songwriting, the instrument playing, the musicianship, how good they were at playing their instruments. Even if now that I'm older, I've discovered, okay, so a lot of it in the early years wasn't really them playing the instruments. It was somebody else. And maybe someday before I die, God knows when that's going to be, we may learn who those people really were.
Right.
That played all those iconic guitar solos and whatever. But I want to start with this. This is the Magical Mystery Tour film from the Beatles that was shown on BBC television. Mm-hmm. It's a color film, okay? But it was shown in black and white at Christmas time.
Okay.
Christmas of 67, I believe, going into the following year of 68. And it was their first big failure. Mm-hmm. You know, considered a bomb. The people just didn't like it, didn't get it. And it's very kind of, I guess you could say it's amateurish. Mm-hmm. A lot of people like to elevate it by saying it's experimental.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. Let's just say that for the average person, they wouldn't know what this movie is really about because it's about something very dark and about something that can only be told in a kind of a coded way. And this was their way of doing it. Okay. But the average person is never going to know that. They can't decode this. Mm-hmm. That's why they can't appreciate it.
Right.
Because what the hell is this, you know? But anyway, this is the packaging. It comes in this beautiful box. This is a Blu-ray, by the way. Okay?
It almost looks like it's a film reel, like a 16 millimeter film reel.
Like a film, 16 millimeter film reel, and even with the color coding on the side. And then it has a little magnetic
I love that.
Opening. I love that too.
Attention to
so
detail.
Then it opens up, and inside you get this beautiful, let me set it down so I don't drop it here. This beautiful full color book, which is absolutely just filled with all kinds of text about the making of the film, about its historical context, about the people involved in it, pictures. You know, I mean, if you like the Beatles or you're interested in that period of time, this film is just for you. It's you know, right up your alley. But I love how they did this. This is very, very nice. And then also, you've got the original This is how the record, the music came out.
Right.
This is a collection of 45s. I think it's two 45s that have the entire music on it with the original booklet.
Nice.
So this is the original booklet. This is how it was originally released. Mm-hmm. In America, it came out as a regular 12-inch album.
Yeah.
Okay, but in the UK, in England, it came out like this. So they just reproduced it.
Wow.
And it's really nice. And then you dig a little further into this little treasure chest, which you have to lift things up with the ribbon, you know? And now you've got the Blu-ray and the DVD. So you're getting the music, you're getting the visual, and you're getting this beautiful packaging. And here's an original ticket there for the
nice.
The tour,
the
Magical Mystery Tour. So, if you're a Beatle fan, that's the kind of thing that fans love,
Yeah, no, that's amazing.
Very, very well done.
Collector piece there.
And, all the paper is quite beautiful and the cardboard. And, it's going to last you for years, something like this, if you take good care of it.
How long have you had that?
Oh, my God. I probably had this for 5 or 6 years, maybe 7 years.
There's something about it, too. Just the packaging and the look. It almost feels like that's something you would have gotten in, like, the 80s or the 90s.
I've had this for 13 years, 2012.
13 years. Okay.
That's when it came out.
Wow, yeah.
So that's me as a kid. I love the Beatles. And even prior to the Beatles, I got into the Universal Classic Monsters. Mm-hmm. I used to watch them on television because back in the 60s, they needed to have content.
Right.
And those old classic monster movies from the 30s, I guess, were relatively inexpensive for them to get and show. And they used to show them a lot.
Yeah.
So here's something that I love. It's a casket. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And you take the lid off. And then from inside the casket, you pull out the box, which you can see has all the artwork of the monsters, right? And then inside the box is a booklet called The Original House of Horror. And inside of the booklet are tons of pictures, essays about the films, stories about the creators of the films, the directors, writers, producers. I mean, it's so chock full of information and beautiful pictures. I can just read it over and over and over again. It's just fascinating.
I flipped through that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like this set. And it's 8 of the movies. I've got like a set
Dracula,
of,
Frankenstein, The Mummy, The Invisible Man, The Bride of Frankenstein, The Wolf Man, The Phantom of the Opera, and The Creature from the Black Lagoon.
Right on. What's your favorite in these?
Oh, God.
You have one.
I love The Mummy and I love Frankenstein. And I love The Invisible Man because it's funny. But this is what else it comes with. Check out this beautiful packaging. Look at the photographs on there. And then you open it up. Okay? See if I can do it in front of the camera. And you get this wide screen. Look at that.
Yeah, I love that.
And then on the other side are all the discs. Can everybody see that?
Oh, yeah.
Isn't that something?
That's real slick. That's really slick packaging. I love that.
And it all folds up. And even on the inside, look at the photographs on the inside.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous. You would never know that these movies were made almost 100 years ago by the quality of the photographs and of the the technology that's allowed them to clean these movies up. And then this is the other part that I love about these. It comes with original artwork. These are the poster designs.
Nice. Love that.
For Dracula, for Frankenstein and Dracula. Isn't that something? If you like, you can frame these and put them up on your wall. They make really nice decorations for your home. If you're into movies,
memorabilia,
your friends come over and they can check them out. There's The Bride of Frankenstein, and the artwork from that period is just so beautiful and so unique.
Yeah, I would love to make a horror movie and get someone to do artwork just like that.
In that style. I've often thought about that too. Make a modern movie and use that style to advertise it.
Yeah, like I love the Italian like giallo posters.
Yes.
They're incredible too.
Giallo, that's a very popular.
Yeah. So I have a Blu-ray set of these. Here you go. That's
Thank
kind
you.
of similar. Mine has a couple less movies, but I know mine actually also has the Spanish Dracula. I haven't watched
Yes.
it yet. Have you seen it? Have you like compared
Yes,
the two?
the Spanish Dracula, I actually like it better than the American Dracula.
That's what I hear.
I do agree it's a
consistently hear
better
it's better.
film.
Yeah.
But the only thing I can honestly say about it is that the performance of Dracula himself is better in the American film.
Right.
For American audiences, they're going to find the Mexican actor, I think his name was Carlos something or other, I can't remember now, as a bit over the top. And Lugosi was a little bit more, had a little bit more gravitas, I think, when it came to playing that role. But as far as the film, the whole film is concerned, I thought the Mexican version was better than the American version.
Yeah.
And that's what people thought at the time as well. But the only difference for me was that if the American Dracula could have been in the Mexican film, then it would have been perfect.
Right.
If they could fuse the two.
Yeah.
But isn't that cool how you put it into the coffin
Yeah, I love that. Mine definitely doesn't have that.
and you put the lid on the coffin?
Yeah.
This is not 4K. This is just regular Blu-ray.
Regular Blu-ray. Yeah.
But the packaging, I just couldn't resist.
Well, I'll share one real quick. I haven't opened this one in a while. And this is DVD out of print, but this is my like tin little can of Old Boy Park Chan-wook. You've seen Old Boy, right?
I've never seen Old Boy.
You've never seen Old Boy.
I don't even know what that is.
Oh, Park Chan-wook. It's the second film in his what he calls his Vengeance trilogy.
Okay,
And
is this a Chinese filmmaker?
Korean filmmaker.
Okay.
And it's pretty. I haven't looked at this in a minute. I don't even remember what's
Beautiful. I
here.
love the tin. That's a tin.
Yeah, so we got some.
That's a tin box.
And this is out of print, I believe. But yeah, it's essentially about this man who is kidnapped and he's put in this like prison for 15 years and they let him out suddenly. And he has like the goal is he has 5 days to figure out who held him captive and why. So it's him trying to like solve this and amazing movie. It is a tough one. It gets pretty heavy. So just know that going in, but it had the 20th anniversary just last year. So they re-released it at AMC. I got to see it on the big screen. Incredible. Must see. I think you would love that.
Yeah, I like the packaging very much. I like the tin.
Yeah, man. I'm pretty sure they don't even make this anymore. It's definitely an out of print.
Well, since you pulled out a tin, we're going to segue into what we call the Blu-ray steelbooks.
Oh, there we go.
That's not really a steel book.
Yeah.
That's a tin box. But here's beautiful packaging of Alfred Hitchcock's Vertigo.
Nice.
With new artwork. And it's really, really solid, really well made, excellent cardboard, excellent paper. And inside of it, you get this.
I love the design, the cover design.
This is what's known as a steel book. It's made out of steel, made out of metal, and it opens up. And you have the original artwork on it. And then you have your discs, your 4K and your regular Blu-ray inside of it. And they make a lot of these.
Yeah, I never got into the steelbook collecting, but I definitely know a lot of people through. Like it has a big following.
It does.
Steelbook. Like there's a lot of people.
It does, and I don't have that many. I maybe have 5 or 6, or maybe 10 at the most. But the Warriors on 4K is on
nice
Blu-ray steelbook too.
Oh yeah,
and then of course it comes with a booklet. Again, it's chock full of information, all the text, the great pictures and stories, behind the scenes stories, and just it makes the movie experience more enjoyable.
Yeah.
That's why I love Turner Classic Movies, because the information that they impart.
Yeah.
It helps you to appreciate the film more, the more that you know about the making of it and the people who made it and the time in which it was made. That really does make a difference, I find.
Yeah, that's what I love too, especially when you get stuff like, for me, I'm really into Criterion, and I love how they'll have a lot of older features from like DVD era, but they do a lot of new interviews and everything too for their releases.
So this is a package that is filled with just beautiful still photographs from the film.
Nice. It's a nice shot. Ooh, yep, right there. That's good.
Oh, just look at
Picture
that.
perfect.
That is,
yeah.
If you know the movie, that says it all right there.
Yeah.
Because they never do that. They never kiss.
Yeah.
but they did that for publicity. And this comes in an envelope, and it also comes with, check this out, a poster.
Nice.
With the original, because sometimes there's different art.
Yeah.
But it's all original from the period. And then for many of these classic films, there's modern versions, modern art that's been, done to.
I always like the older art. That's one thing I like about Arrow, and I've got a couple of those in here, is I love that the covers are reversible.
Yes.
Where they'll have new artwork. I think Shout Factory does the same.
Shout Factory does it too.
Yeah, and you can just like flip it. So I always do that. So I have the original.
And you can just flip it whenever you want,
Yeah, just
whatever side you want. Now that you brought that up, Arrow and Shout Factory, we're talking about these boutique Blu-ray physical media companies. There's a lot of them. Yeah. Indicator. They're just, they focus on physical media.
Yeah.
And they do beautiful work. They really do. So here's another set of cards also. There's more than one set in there. So, it's just a feast. I mean, if you love these movies, this is just such a thrill. And it's not something that you just look at once.
Yeah.
You can enjoy this over and over and over again. I'd love to just pull them out once or twice a year and have a look at them again and just enjoy them.
I've got some DVDs here, so nothing fancy, but I think these are important to kind of show off for sure. So number one, got to pull this out. This is my Boulevard Nights DVD. I couldn't find my parents' VHS tape. I wanted to, but we probably got so many copies of this movie floating around.
I'm sorry. I'm sad to say, to report to people that now it's on Blu-ray and there's just no comparison. I'm sorry. Because that is not really a DVD. What you're holding there is a DVR.
Okay.
It's a recording of a video onto a disc. It's not really, there's been no transfer, no official transfer.
Well, thankfully we got this Blu-ray now.
It's so beautiful.
It's about time.
So beautiful. So impressed by it.
And then I got American Me, of course. I've got my Blu-ray. I think I forgot to bring it.
Yeah.
And I have to show this off. Carlos Avila, who was a guest on the show a year or so ago. This was his, I believe, feature film directorial debut.
Yeah, Price and Glory, yes.
I really enjoy this movie, and I was stoked to be able to have him on the show to talk about this and some of his other
Jimmy Smith and Clifton Collins.
Yep. Zoot Suit, of course. I don't have this one on Blu-ray yet.
Is it on Blu-ray? I think it is.
I feel like I've seen it. I just haven't.
Yeah, I feel like I've seen it too, but I'm not sure about that.
Blood in, Blood out.
Blood in, Blood out.
That's not a
on
Blu-ray release. We need a Blu-ray release. Criterion put it out. Criterion should do.
That's from the House of Mouse right there.
That's why that's the thing.
And that's the issue.
That's the problem. I mean,
they're a bit stingy when it comes to certain
And it's like at least Hulu had it for a while because Mouse owns it. But I don't know. Is it even still on Hulu? I'm not even sure.
I really don't know.
And this one, I haven't watched it. Sorry, these are dusty. I haven't watched this yet. But Kenneth Castillo, who just directed you in the play, he was also a guest on the show, and he gifted me this. This was his
Cholo Chaplin.
Original kind of short series that helped launch off his career, if I remember correctly. So I haven't watched it yet. Hopefully you're not upset by that. But
no, I need to watch it too. Yeah. I need to watch it too.
I've seen a couple of his films, and he gave me this one, so I'm looking forward to seeing that. But just got to show it off. Watch that episode with Kenneth. It's one of the best podcasts.
Kenneth directed our recent production of The Last Angry Brown Hat at Plaza de la Raza. We remounted it, and he was the director.
I'll show one more real quick, getting into Criterion. I haven't opened this yet.
Oh, but I just saw that.
Yeah, they have the 50% flash sale, so I got this. I have the box set on DVD already from 15, 20 years ago. But dude, a Blu-ray, all of them, even Enter the Dragon. So I can't wait to dig
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, baby. Lou Alcindor, that's how I knew him back in the 60s. I remember you
saying that, Dang.
DVDs. So there are some titles that are only available on DVDs because I have a certain amount of DVDs that I wanted to upgrade to Blu-ray, and I've looked everywhere and they're just not available.
Yeah.
So I'm holding on to the DVD until. And I will keep the DVD if, let's say, there is special features on it. Mm-hmm. And then when you get the Blu-ray, those features are either not on the Blu-ray,
right,
or the Blu-ray just has an entirely different selection of special features.
Yeah.
So I will save it just for that.
Yeah. I for me so far, because I've upgraded Boulevard Nights, you just saw I have like the two versions, but I can't I just have yet to get rid of any of the DVDs. I'm just going to hold on to everything.
Yeah.
It's a little clutter, but I just like to know that at least I got a backup of certain movies, you know?
Okay, now since you brought up some of my films, we're going to go into my films.
There we go.
Excellent transition. These are Digibooks, but these are not American Digibooks. These 3 here are German.
Okay.
So this is the movie that I did. I don't know if you've ever seen it. It's a classic cult movie from the 80s, Miracle Mile. I'm only in one scene, but it's a long scene.
Okay.
And it's a key scene because that scene kicks off the whole film, comes toward the beginning of the film. And so this is in German. There's the title in English right there, and here's the title in German beneath it. And then you open it up, and there's a booklet with beautiful pictures and text. The only thing is, it's in German. So unfortunately, I can't read German, and I don't know what the heck they're saying. But at least it's in English, the film.
Okay.
But if you want to watch it with German dubbing, you can.
Options on there.
And I did, because I wanted to see what the German actor who dubbed my voice, what kind of actor they got. And he was very good.
Nice.
They really do try to match the intensity of your performance.
Yeah.
And the vocal tone of it.
Yeah, it's always interesting when you see a dubbed movie and you're like, oh, you're not even close to doing what the actor's doing. And which is more often than not.
It works against the film, really, if you're not going to take the time.
That's why.
But look at how much they spent on making that. That just goes to show you how much they love that film.
Yeah. I love the design, like the hardcover with the disc on the front and back and the book in the middle. I think it's really slick to do it as one piece.
And you know, I used to be not ashamed, but embarrassed a little bit about the low budget films that I did because I needed the money or whatever. And, you know, not my best performances, you know what I mean? But then as I got older, I realized, you know, that's part of the actor's life.
Right.
And that's part of the process. You're growing and learning. You're making mistakes. You can't always be brilliant. I can tell you, I can show you brilliant directors. Stanley Kubrick. Watch his first movie.
Yeah.
Oh, God. You cannot believe it's the same person that made Barry Lyndon.
Right.
It's just not possible.
Yeah.
But it is. Or watch some of James Dean's early performances on television. And you'll see him growing and developing and making mistakes. And, you know, he wasn't quite as brilliant as he got later on when he started to make his feature films.
Right.
Anyway, this is a film. It's called 315, The Moment of Truth. But in other countries, it has other titles.
Okay.
In France, they call it Class of 89. I don't know why. And again, there's me. That's me on the cover. Adam Baldwin from Full Metal Jacket.
Okay.
This is right before he went to go make Stanley Kubrick's Full Metal Jacket.
Wow.
Just prior to that, he did this film with me.
No one ever stood up to the Cobras, and Jeff Hanna was one of their best.
You and me, we get Picasso.
Like brothers, they fought, side by side. And Hanna even enjoyed it for a while.
Hey, it's enough. We won. I'm gonna hurt him.
It's a low budget film, and this also has, you know, the booklet, and sometimes they come with a DVD and a Blu-ray. This one's got a DVD and a Blu-ray. They all have this series.
And I'm guessing these must be from the same company?
Yeah,
or is
this is
it
from the
just how
same
they
company.
do? Okay.
Yeah, the same company that's licensed, you know, MGM in this case. And I don't know what that one is over there. Okay, so here's American Me from Germany, folks.
Yeah, that's such interesting poster art because I've never seen that, you know?
Yes, this is different poster art, exactly. But look at this.
Yeah.
This 20-page full color booklet with the most fabulous pictures. I mean, I was just stunned when I saw this.
Yeah.
Of course, it's all in German, so you can't read the text unless you read German. Look at that.
Those are some sharp, like even from
And
here,
look at her when
those
she's
are
older.
sharp photos.
Aren't they
man.
sharp? Aren't
They're
they
super
Aren't
sharp.
they just beautiful? Look at that.
Incredible. Yeah, they spared no expense on that
even the
one.
Americans didn't do this for their own movie.
Yeah, right.
The Germans did this. What the hell?
Criterion, we need it. Give us
Criterion, give us
like
American
this.
Meat.
Yeah.
Look at how young. How beautiful.
Amazing.
You know, people give me so much love for that performance. And I always tell them that's why it was the way it was, because of him. He just got that performance. He squeezed it out of me. He encouraged me. He believed in me. Look at that. I mean, you got to love it.
Yeah, no, that's great.
When I show this to people in my shop in San Antonio, they just can't believe it.
So I imagine, I mean, does this work in like a U.S. region Blu-ray or no?
You have to have what is known as an all-region or a region-free player, which I have, because I have my collections from all over the world.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can't find a film, an American release of a film, but go to France, go to Germany, go to Yugoslavia, Belgium, whatever, and there it is. And you have the option of watching it in English most of the time, you know, in the original language.
Yeah, that's amazing. Man.
Isn't that beautiful?
That's awesome.
I want to gift that to you, by the way.
This one, really?
Yes.
You serious?
Yes.
Oh, shoot.
Yes, I brought that. I'm gonna sign it for you.
Oh, I really appreciate that. Wow, that's crazy.
So we're still in Digibooks. So here's Mutiny on the Bounty from, oh God, what year is this? From 1935. And these are Digibooks. So, you know, they got it's like a little book.
Yeah.
And you have all the pages, and there's a lot of movies that come like this, you know, with all the text and the pictures and then the movie, and it comes in a little book. And I like that.
Yeah,
this
I
kind of
dig that
packaging is
format
very
a lot.
attractive. Here is Citizen Kane in Digibook.
Nice.
George Stevens' Giant from 1955, folks, okay? A major Hollywood movie from Warner Brothers, the same studio that brought you Boulevard Nights, 24 years later. And what is it about? Prejudice against Mexican and Mexican Americans. That's what the whole movie's about. A major 3-hour Hollywood movie with Elizabeth Taylor, Rock Hudson, and James Dean. Huge stars.
Right.
You tell me who's making a movie like that with a theme with a story like that today.
No, no one.
People need to see this movie. Watch this movie.
I haven't seen it yet, but it's been on the list. Yeah.
It needs to be on your
it's
on your list. You
moving
need
up to the
watch
top.
it.
Yeah.
So those are Digibooks. And then this one is, you know, this is what I call kitsch.
Okay.
Which is kind of like, it's not brilliant filmmaking, but it's original in its own way. It's unique. It's kind of goofy. This is a combination of science fiction and this is from 1968. This is a 4K restoration. The Batwoman, made in Mexico by director Rene Cardona. And it says here it's a sunsplash blend of action and science fiction.
Get out!
Rime.
And it comes in this beautiful box. And then out comes, you know, it's from Indicator. So Indicator always has these little cardboard boxes with the disc inside. And then the booklet. I love them booklets, man. I got a zillion of them, and I love them. I love to read, so.
I was going to say that almost looks like a Russ Myers kind of aesthetic on there.
That kind of aesthetic, exactly. But it's so delicious. It's so much fun to watch it. I just enjoy it. I enjoy the kitschy movies.
Yeah, sometimes they can be a lot of fun, you know.
They really can be. And especially, you know, you appreciate the fact that they were made at a time where we're not in that time anymore. We'll never be in that time again.
Yeah, that's all.
That aesthetic will never exist ever.
Yeah.
If you're going to do that aesthetic today, you're doing it intentionally. That's just what they did naturally then.
Yeah.
But you would do it with intention of trying to make something like that now. So then if we move on, do you want to go on to one of yours?
Yeah, I'll show a couple right here. The Wong Kar. So I have like all these movies on DVD already. And then when Criterion announced this, man, this big Wong Kar Wai
Man, you go
set.
for those big old boxes, don't you?
I mean, I think you got me beat.
No, mine are all small compared to yours. Is that a DVD?
This is Blu-ray.
It's Blu-ray.
Yeah, it's all Blu-ray. It's kind of.
Is it Blu-ray and DVD?
I think it's all just, but.
Oh my God.
Yeah, dude, talk about a book, right?
Jeez, that's beautiful.
Yeah, amazing. And yeah, five of the films, all Blu-ray. Yeah, man, bangers, banger after banger. Love some Wong Kar-wai. Chris Doyle was one of my favorite, or is one of my favorite cinematographers.
Yeah.
I think the two of them together just create
meant
magic.
To be. Yeah, it was meant to be.
Very much so. I don't even know how to close this back up.
That's nice.
One more here. My girlfriend Sally got this for me. Krzysztof Kieslowski's Three Colors.
Another big one. What do
DVD.
you find these big old, man, I thought mine were
I
big.
do the Barnes & Noble. But yeah, man, I've been wanting to see these movies. You know, you got the red, white, and blue for a long time.
You know, I've never seen those. Heard of them, of course. I'm familiar with them, but
yeah, they're good. Funny enough, I think blue might be my favorite, which is probably the most downer one. But I know red is like widely considered kind of a favorite, I think. But I've only seen them the one time, so I need to watch them again. And this is the DVD; it's not the Blu-ray. Maybe I'll upgrade at some point, but. You know, Criterion, even their DVDs, man, they do some really great
okay, well, you just
quality.
got to mention something that takes us into another area about physical media. Mm-hmm. And that is that, you know, you find yourself asking, what am I in the mood for? Mm-hmm. What do I feel like watching tonight? And when you have a large variety, a library, let's say, of Blu-rays, DVDs, whatever, man, there's so many choices, you know. Yeah. Do I want to watch a Universal classic monster movie? Am I in the mood for some Wong Kar-wai? Do I want to see some Bruce Lee? Do I want to see some British Ealing comedies from the 40s to the 50s? What do you want to see?
Yeah.
And I love that. I love just being able to cater, almost like the drink, you know, depending on what mood you're in. What do I feel like drinking?
Yeah.
Or what do I feel like eating at a restaurant? Movies are the same way to me. What do I feel like consuming right now?
Yeah. And it's fun to curate for friends and other people too. Like,
it is.
Come over. We're going to have a fun double feature of, you know, we're going to watch, you know, The Big Boss, Bruce Lee, and then Three the Hard Way, and then, you know, Big Trouble in Little China.
This is something crazy, I like to do. I like to, I'll combine this. I'll say, we're going to watch two movies. Mm-hmm. And the thing they have in common is there's an actor that's in both. Mm-hmm. When he was a young man and when he's a very old man.
I like that. Yeah.
And that's what's going to tie these two films together. Mm-hmm. And see if you can recognize that actor. Mm-hmm. Because so many 50, 40, 50, 60 years have passed between the two films. And he's still working. Mm-hmm. So I enjoy doing things like that.
I love that. Yeah.
You know, just finding something that they have in common. Now, here's a film that I know you love.
Yeah.
The Servant. Joseph Losey's The Servant. Man.
So I got my Criterion right here.
You got your Criterion. Yeah. Now, see, here's an example.
Mm-hmm.
That Criterion copy and this copy from Studio Canal have different special features.
Right.
This one is another one of those cardboard boxes that opens up. There's the booklet. You know, tons of text and pictures. It comes with gorgeous photographs on the cards.
So many great mirror shots in this movie.
Oh my God.
So many great mirror shots.
The use of mirrors in this movie is brilliant. This movie is a real mind effort, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I mean, it goes places where you have no idea it's going to take you there. And then, of course, it's got this beautiful, you know, where you have the discs inside, but on the outside, it's that beautiful picture.
Yeah, love that. Love that. So what are the discs? Is it like Blu-ray, DVD, special features?
Yeah, one is a special feature, one is a 4K UHD, and one is the Blu-ray.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, the Blu-ray of the special features. The feature and the special features
nice.
In Blu-ray, and then the 4K UHD. And man, in 4K, it looks amazing.
Yeah.
The grays, the subtleties between the different kinds of grays and blacks and whites. It's mind-blowing. It's just, the cinematography is so freaking beautiful in this film.
Yeah, it's a banger. I was
it is a banger.
When you happened to bring it up to me because my girlfriend had just got this and a few others for me for Christmas.
Yeah.
And I had never seen it. She got it for me because it was on a list of movies that influenced Strange Darling. And she knows I love that. And you happened to mention it to me and I was like, dude, I got it on my shelf. So yeah, I watched it that night and yeah, well, we're checking out.
Oh, it's Dirk Bogarde, Sarah Miles, Wendy Craig, James Fox, who, by the way, as an older man, here he's a younger man making his film debut, but as an older man, he did a film called A Bridge Too Far.
Okay.
With a lot of stars, but it's a really good film.
Yeah.
If you like a good war movie,
that's the one.
Oh man, it's a great war movie. Great. It's got everybody. In fact, Dirk Bogarde and James Fox are both in it from this film. But this is a banger. And this is like with the Ealing comedies I mentioned earlier.
Right.
The Lady Killers, classic 50s, Ealing Studios. Beautiful work. And this is one of my favorite American films of all time. To Kill a Mockingbird.
I'm due for another viewing of that. It's been a long time.
Oh man, the 4K is just, it's just, and this comes with a booklet, and you know, you've seen it all now.
It is amazing how well they can restore these films and just make them look so crisp and clean and sharp, and
without altering them.
Yeah.
They're not censoring them. They're not editing them. They're just enhancing what was originally created.
Yeah. It just goes to show how good the like film negatives were. Like everyone think, 6K, 8K cameras, 12K, this and that. But it's like, even those old like 35 millimeter negatives, man, if they took care of them, because they were, if I remember correctly, I'm pretty sure 35 millimeter film is like a 4K equivalent when it's, maxed out.
Yeah.
So it's always,
and of course it's going to have grain because that's the nature of film.
Yeah.
But film is so rich looking.
Yeah.
The thing about digital is that
texture, man.
Texture wise, digital can be so extreme.
Yeah.
You're going from one extreme to another, and it can be very jarring and
a little too crispy sometimes. Like,
too much.
A little too crunchy.
Or when they try to take old films and broadcast them through a digital, process, they have a really fake kind of video-y look to them.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're doing them anymore. They're probably not doing this anymore, but in the early days, they were doing this on Turner. They had a digital version of Turner Classic Movies, and it was just horrid looking. I was appalled to look at these films and say, oh, Lord, they were never intended to be seen that way. Now, 4K is different because they're going back to the original intention of the filmmakers and just enhancing it with the technology. They're not changing it. They're not altering it.
It's always inherently there. Like the quality was there.
So beautiful. The Maltese Falcon looks amazing. Frankenstein, all those classic Universal monster films look incredible in 4K.
Yeah, I mean, I've got, like I mentioned, those Universal monster movies on Blu-ray as well, and like, good Lord, do they look clean. And I'm going to add real quick too, The Invisible Man, those special effects still hold up.
Oh,
so
they absolutely do.
Like, I watch them, like, I don't even know how we would do that now.
Look, do they get the job done?
Yeah,
they get the job done.
They're amazing.
They communicate what they need to communicate, and they're perfectly believable.
Yes, yeah.
Even though we know that there's, better effects. But see, those films, the effects were there to serve the story.
Yeah.
They're servants to the story. The effects are not the story.
Yeah.
We're not here for a whole movie full of special effects. Who cares? Yeah. This is my reaction to movies today, okay? With all their special effects. This is what I think of them. They are so boring.
You mean you don't like to see an actor just in a giant green room talking to a tennis ball?
Who gives a rat's ass? I don't care. I don't care. If you're going to have action, let there be character development also.
Oh, yeah.
If you don't care about the character, I don't care if he falls out of a helicopter.
Yeah.
I don't really care. If I don't care, I disengage from the movie. It just doesn't, grab me.
It's when you can clearly see it's like a human being walking in essentially a cartoon, and it's hard to, and that's why, like, being into horror films and everything, like the old school practical effects, man, like, I just love that stuff because even when, let's take Godzilla, right? It's a guy in a suit, sure, but the fact that it is a real physical thing with texture existing in front of the camera, crushing real physical miniatures makes all the difference in the world. I mean, I'll take that over CGI any day. I mean, and just crazy stunts. Like, I watched finally Howard Hawks' The Thing from Another World.
Yeah.
A couple months ago. I imagine you've probably seen it.
Yes.
But that moment when the little beeper is going off, beep, beep, as it's getting closer, and I'm like, oh, this has been in so many movies since. Like, what an influential beep.
Yes,
beep,
but
beep,
where did it originate?
Closer.
Where did it originate?
The Thing from Another World. Yep. Yeah. But when it busts in and they're like throwing the fire and all that.
Yeah.
And it's just all these guys are in this room. It's on fire. I'm like, dude, they're really doing this. They just like set this dude on fire. It's everywhere. Like,
yeah, it's for real.
Yeah. People just, I don't think we appreciate as a whole in general, like all the stunt work and
the 007, the 007 series. I mean, come on.
Man, funny you mentioned that. I've been
earlier
watching
ones
them all.
were all practical.
Yeah. I just watched Moonraker where the cold open is when they're jumping out of the plane and he's got to fight the guy in midair. And then the ski jump.
I mean, these stunt people, they deserve a medal.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
You know,
Definitely.
the fact they were willing to do that kind of work, it's amazing.
Yeah.
And it wasn't CGI.
Yeah, just all real in camera. Well, and you think too, in moments like that, like the plane jump fighting for the parachute in midair, then you also have to take into account, like, wait a second, there's also a camera guy in the air, like filming all this. Like, there's a camera guy.
And where is he at?
Yeah, he's just there.
And he's risking his life too.
Yeah. It's incredible.
No, it is amazing when you actually stop and think about how this was done.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just, it's remarkable. It absolutely is. And then, here's the Godfather trilogy in, like a mock book. You open it up and then you take out the box and it has the disc. And again, there's picture cards and, a booklet. And
is that, I've never seen this set before. Is that like a new Blu-ray set? I know they had the 50th anniversary.
This came out in 2017.
Wow. Okay. That's slick.
And it's got the trilogy and it's small and compact and it fits in your library beautifully,
Nice.
Now, when I was a kid, I used to like Japanese anime. Astro Boy was, my hero as a 5-year-old. I used to watch it on television, but so was this guy. 8-Man. He's called 8-Man. This is Japanese. And again, you get the booklet and you get the little plastic box with the discs kind of all hinged in there. Now, this is all in Japanese. So the English dubbing that I watched in the 60s isn't present in this box.
Subtitled, though, at least? Like
no, there's no subtitles on this.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this is all Japanese.
All right, so that's for like the all-region player. And that already looks like a collector's item. Like,
but for me, this is just
print.
This was, you think about your childhood when things are magical. And, when you're a kid, man, you're only a kid once. And it's a beautiful time in your life. It can be. And for me, it was. And things that take me back to my childhood are very meaningful to me.
Right.
And I've gone back and looked. I've gone back to remembered movies. I can remember a scene, let's say, of a hand crawling up to a piano, a severed hand, and then playing the keys on the piano. And I put it into Google, what is that movie? And sure enough, I found the movie, The Beast with 5 Fingers.
Peter Lorre, right?
Peter Lorre, yes.
Movie.
Oh, great. I love it. Love that movie. But I enjoy going back and seeing those films as an adult.
Yeah.
That I saw as a kid and realizing that I still like them. For the most part, all the films I had that I liked as a kid, I like as an adult. So I thought, wow, I had pretty good taste as a kid, I went for some good stuff.
Yeah.
I really did. But there was good stuff out there being offered.
Right.
If you, had the time and the interest. Because there were so few channels back then.
Right.
Like I said, getting content on those channels was so important so they could keep the channel alive. And they would just show all kinds of foreign films on television when I was a kid on one of those channels. My mom and I would watch them together. And I loved them. I absolutely loved them. And then go back and watch them again as an adult and realize, okay, now as an adult, I understand them a lot better.
Yeah.
But do I still enjoy them? Heck yeah. Even more because I remember them so much from being a kid. And, even watching them and not quite understanding what everything meant, but still appreciating them on some level, you know? And appreciating the craftsmanship, really. The cinematography and the editing and the directing and the acting, the writing, all of it. So, those are all just different examples from my collection. This is the Warner Brothers. They do a whole series of these.
Right.
4K. This one has Rebel Without a Cause, Citizen Kane, Singing in the Rain, Cool Hand Luke, and Casablanca.
All right.
All in 4K.
Got some hitters.
Oh my God. Talk about bangers.
Yeah. Let me see. I'm gonna bust out some more Criterions here, and these are mainly just because I think they're kind of important.
Criterion's gonna love you. They're just gonna. I don't even think I brought any Criterion. Oh, love it! I have it at home.
I'm glad they have Ballad of Gregorio Cortez. Make sure you check it out.
People, you need to see this film.
Robert M. Young,
the guy that produced American Me.
Yep.
And Edward James Olmos is brilliant in it.
And then
Pepe
also
Serna.
Robert M. Young, Alambrista. Very little scene. If you see that next Criterion.
This movie stars Pie Face from American Me and Frog from Colors.
Yep.
And it is really, really good.
Yeah.
And Edward James Olmos has a small role in that.
Man, the rawness of the way Robert Young shoots, like 16 millimeter,
almost documentary style. Yeah.
When I look at some of those low light scenes at night, like the Edward James Olmos scene, I'm like, dude, because back then it's like your film speed was like what, 200 ASA at best. I mean, so you got to really light it up, and he captures such naturalism, a lot of great sunset shots. Same in Ballad as well. Really amazing.
And Domingo Ambriz, Pie Face from American Me, his performance.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's heartbreaking. I saw that performance when I was going to do Boulevard Nights. That inspired me. I was so inspired by his performance. I thought, wow, I want to move people like that. I want to touch them like that. I want them to remember me. But you got to be so real for that. You got to come from the heart, from the gora. You can't be fake. You can't just put it out there, like you're pretending. Yeah,
it all in that film feels very legit. Like
very
on
real.
The documentary tip, it's almost like, oh, these are just real people. Like they're not actors.
Yes.
It's just them living their lives.
That's exactly how I would describe it.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible. I got to bring up Gregory Nava, El Norte. Thank you for Criterion.
His best movie in my opinion.
Yeah. Do you like Mi Familia? I love it. I know Daniel Villarreal doesn't feel strongly about it.
No disrespect to Greg. I love Greg, but it's not really, to me, I think just El Norte is a much stronger film for me.
And these make for an interesting double feature. Too,
oh, absolutely.
Like
all three of those.
Yeah, it would be a heavy double
triple
bill,
feature. A triple feature.
And I've got Italian Giallo, Dario Argento, Bird with the Crystal Plumage. Speaking of Arrow,
I need to get into those.
Alice, Sweet Alice. This is American, but love it. And we were talking about the reversible covers, which these both have.
Yeah, show them what we're talking about. Open it up.
Open up Alice. So inside, I'm not going to pull it out, but you can see.
Sometimes the inside's just white.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So this was the cover that was originally on it. That's their updated artwork. But you can take it out and flip it. And then this was the original poster, which I love. It's just so creepy. And besides me loving this Argento film, I'm always amazed when I rediscover that Vittorio Storaro actually shot this film. Oh. And I got to bring him up because you were in a movie that he shot.
Oh, and the only reason I did that movie was because, Vittorio was getting up in age, right? He shot many more movies after that.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's still working. I don't know.
Yeah, I know he was doing a lot with Woody Allen in the recent
Okay, well, this was a Woody Allen film. Not that Woody directed.
Right.
Alfonso Arau directed it. Like Water for Chocolate.
Yeah.
And Alfonso was an actor.
Three Amigos.
And
the Wild Bunch.
Wild Bunch, a lot of films, but a really wonderful director. And it's called Picking Up the Pieces. And Woody was the star of it. It had 1 million movie stars, television stars, all kinds of, famous names are in this film. And a lot of us Latino actors were in it too. But the reason I wanted to do it was just for the opportunity to be photographed by Vittorio. That was why I wanted to do it. And like I told you before, I was so blessed because I had a little part, but he gave me my moment. He gave me what I call my flowers. And he photographed me because he likes to work in primary colors.
Yeah.
He does. He puts on a blue filter, or a red filter, or green or yellow. Yeah. And he did me in blue. On the top of this double-decker bus. And oh my God, it was just so delicious.
Yeah.
Not just to be in a regular scene, but to be in one of the filtered scenes.
Right.
Which is his signature, It's like him signing the movie.
Yeah. He's
Love
deep into the
Vittorio,
strong colors. Yeah.
I he probably doesn't remember who I am, but I don't care because he was a legend. He is a legend. Yeah. And all the fabulous films that he's shot, the work that he's done, and to be photographed by him was a great, great honor.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I've been blessed, man. So blessed. It means a lot to me.
Here's one we've already seen, but the update, American Me, released on Blu-ray.
Okay, let me. Can I show them something? Pass it to me, please.
Take it.
So, example of the cover. Many times when you open these up, it's just white on the inside. But look what they did on the inside of the American Me cover. Bada bing, bada bong. And this is what I sign when I sell this or when they bring it to me.
Yeah, love that.
It could have just been white.
Yeah.
But they went the extra mile and did this.
God, I appreciate that.
And I, for one, was truly appreciative of that. That is good taste. It's a beautiful photograph.
Yeah.
And looks like you've had this in the bathtub.
Yeah, there was.
Were you watching it while bathing or while taking a shower?
There was a pretty nasty spill on one of my shelves, and a few of them got wet.
Poor baby. It got all rippled.
Yeah, I know.
I can hear it crying.
It really bums me out.
Faintly in the background.
But I'm going to throw this one in there. Strange Darling. I don't know if you saw this, man. It came out this last year, 2024.
No.
Check it out. Directed by JT Molnar. Cinematographer was Giovanni Ribisi, the actor. So he's done
Giovanni
commercials.
Ribisi photographed it?
Yeah. So he's done commercials as a DP, but this was his like feature film debut. Beautiful 35 millimeter film. Like they're super old school like that. Easily the best movie I saw last year. And I know a couple of the producers on it and had them on the show. So I just wanted to throw that out there. I just love it.
Great.
So much.
I love it too. I got to see it.
I don't know if you like Richard Linklater, but I was stoked. I have these on DVD already. Finally got the box set.
I need to get that
trilogy.
I need to get that. That's
love
Criterion.
These movies. Yeah. Criterion.
Yeah.
Box set. Love them. I hope he makes another one.
You haven't even opened it.
I know. I haven't watched them. I mean, I've seen them a bunch of times before. I got the DVDs. So I don't open them until.
But all the special features.
Oh, I know.
You can go straight there.
La Bamba. I'm glad Criterion released this within the last year.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah. Yeah. So fairly recent. Yeah, I haven't watched this one yet. 4K.
Better get your hands on that now before it goes out of print.
Yeah, for real. And I got to bring up this one. You know, when I had Daniel Villarreal on the show, we were talking Tarkovsky a lot, and I was like, all right, Tarkovsky's on my list.
He loves Tarkovsky.
I'm like, he's on my list of filmmakers, and I just never went down his filmography yet. But after discussing it with him, I was like, all right, let's go. Got a few of the Blu-rays. And my favorite so far is Mir. This is the Criterion of Mir. Just incredible movie. And I don't even like the cinematography in all his films and the way it's literally like if poetry was a motion picture, that's what it is.
Yeah,
and also just captures like life in a way that I just don't even understand it. I wish I could be on set, like go back in time, be on set of these movies and just, how do you do it?
He's such a unique and original artist.
Yeah. And
that's why Daniel loves him. Daniel loves original, unique artists that have their own voice, their own style, and they're not trying to copy anybody else. They're not derivative. You know, they're creating something that's completely coming from them. That's beautiful. I need to see that.
Yeah, it's a banger.
I need to see that.
It's a banger for sure.
So let's move on to one other kind of box that I like a lot. It's another, this is the Alfred Hitchcock collection. I believe it's got 14 films, but this is what I love. Yeah, it's got the booklet, but this is the part that maybe some people don't like this, but I like this. Every movie is housed in its own
I dig that
page.
Love Rope. Love Rear Window. I really like that. I love the poster art.
The artwork. All the special features, and it's all in one little box. 14 films.
How long ago did you get this one? I need to get a set
I
like
bought
that.
this. You won't believe this. This was very expensive.
Yeah.
So one day I was in one of those pawn shop kind of places in Arizona because my friend that I went to go visit, he likes to go to the pawn shops. I'd be like rolling my eyes like, oh God, these places are so boring.
Yeah.
But they had a Blu-ray and DVD section, and this was sitting in there.
Wow.
So sadly, somebody lost it because they traded it in because they needed the money.
Yeah.
And I got it for nothing. And it was literally brand new.
Wow.
So yeah, that was
14 of the movies, huh? Dang.
I think there's 14 films here. It's called the Masterpiece Collection.
It's awesome. I still got to work my way through his filmography. He's got so many movies. And I mean, he was even doing stuff in the silent era. You know, there's so much to go back and watch.
And I'm waiting for them to clean up those silent films and to really restore them, remaster them.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for that because I want to go back and appreciate his silent film work because you can see the seeds of what he became in those early films. And there are some fabulous silent films.
Yeah.
People think silent films are boring. They don't even know.
Man, I just, the Vista did a matinee a few weeks ago, Modern Times, Charlie Chaplin. So I went, first time I saw it. And actually the show that I produce here, we talked about it earlier. And I'd seen The Kid before. I've seen a bunch of scenes of Charlie Chaplin. I mean, you can't be in the film and at least not like be aware.
Right.
But I watched it for the first time and it's the Vista. So 35 millimeter print, gorgeous, packed house, man. Little kids, people my age, teenagers,
did they laugh?
Old people, they did.
There you go.
And I love that so much when you're having old people laugh, little
when
kids.
When they're laughing right now, that film's as modern as it ever was.
Exactly.
That's all there is to it.
It's
people
timeless.
say, "Oh, but it's old. It's an old movie."
It's timeless.
No, you know there is no. Movies are timeless. There is no age for movies. There's no yesterday and today. There's only now. If you're watching a movie you've never seen before, whether it's Modern Times or Buster Keaton's The General, let's say, or even Wings, the very first Academy Award winning film, which is a beautiful film. It's just as modern as it ever could be because you've never seen it before. So it's right now. It's happening right now. And you know, Wings has these shots. The actors went up in the airplanes. They learned how to fly. One actor was a pilot, already knew how to fly. The other actor had to learn how to fly an airplane. They attached the camera to the plane and all the footage is not CGI. It's all happening in real life. And they're doing a battle scene with all these planes attacking this one guy in an airplane. And I'm just sitting there looking at this going, oh my God, are you serious? I read about it in the booklet. He had to learn how to fly.
Yeah.
The guy's like 22 years old.
Right.
Not only is he thinking about his performance because the camera's right there in front of him, but he's got to pilot the plane.
Yeah. Needs to survive.
What the hell? Dude, I was just blown away. Who does that today?
Right.
They're not going to risk an actor's life and health or whatever. He could have gone down. Yeah, it's amazing. Just really amazing. There's a lot to be mined from those films. You see a lot of what we consider common tropes today given birth in those old movies.
Yeah.
You see certain things done for the first time and certain effects too. Like when Charlie Chaplin is skating very near the edge, you think he's going to fall over. The way they shot that was brilliant.
And it holds up so well.
It holds up beautifully.
And we're talking just old school, like a matte painting.
Yes.
But it looks so legit.
It looks so legit.
Real. And I still and mind you, I'm watching this on a big screen.
Yes.
So there's ever a moment where it was not going to look real, that would be it. And it holds up incredibly well. Yeah, all of it. And just, what it's about, that ending. It's one of the most beautiful movie endings I've ever seen. The music, Smile, and him walking into the sunset.
People hear that song and recognize Smile. They recognize it, but they don't realize Charlie Chaplin wrote it.
Yeah, that was his music.
I always tell people, like I tell people, they love that song, Red, Red Wine. I tell them, Neil Diamond wrote that song. You too. I mean, UB40 didn't write that song.
Right.
Neil Diamond wrote it. Neil Diamond? Yeah, Neil Diamond. Cracklin' Rosie, he wrote that song. So sometimes people they gotta be a little bit more open-minded.
Yeah.
That's what I noticed today. I feel a lot of young people are, to me, when I'm around young people today, I feel like they're very, very close-minded and it makes them feel, how can I put this? I feel younger than they do. Yeah, I don't see them as young people. Their minds are so closed. They seem so old and old-fashioned and antique to me, the young people. They don't want to see black and white. They break out in hives if you show them a black and white movie.
Subtitles, I got to read subtitles.
Oh my God, I got to read subtitles?
Don't listen to the dub. Because we were talking about actors not matching. I'm like, don't listen to the dub.
How about all those European films, La Dolce Vita, all of them, La Aventura, they're all dubbed. You can tell they're dubbed. The whole movie's dubbed, but that's the way they were made.
Yeah, when it comes to those, like spaghetti westerns and some of the giallo, that I'll go with because that was the culture and like, oh, everyone come and speak whatever language you speak and we'll have other people do it
They didn't
later.
record sound.
Exactly.
It was all MOS.
Yeah.
And so they just put the sound in later.
Yeah. So that
but you accept it.
Yeah. That I vibe with, like kung fu movies.
Yeah.
But if I'm going to watch something like Parasite, or Old Boy Park Chan-wook, I'm not going to watch a dub of that. Just read the subtitles.
I love Parasite.
Yeah, I got to revisit it.
Reading the subtitles is good for you, okay?
Yeah.
It's going to exercise your eyes. You want to go to the gym and exercise your muscles? Well, exercise your eye muscles too, and your brain.
Yeah.
Your brain needs exercise too. Your brain needs to do 20 jumping jacks a day, okay?
Yeah.
And these movies will help, for you to make that possible.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, physical media, bro, it's just so enjoyable. I can tell you the hours and hours and hours I spend watching these films and learning from them, studying them, analyzing them, freezing them and rewinding them and going back and saying, wait, how did they do that transition right there?
Yeah.
Wow, that's fascinating. And somebody had to just think that up. What made them do it in that way? What made them think that was going to work? And it's weird and kinky and different, but it does work. That's what fascinates me. I just love the craftsmanship. My dad was a carpenter. Okay. Take something apart and see how it was put together. And that's what I do when I watch these movies. I almost like reverse engineer them or disassemble them to see what the moving parts are like, and then put them back together and just have such a deep appreciation for the craftsmanship.
Yeah.
Wow, that was so beautifully shot. Citizen Kane. Good God, there's just so many amazing. Greg Toland and Orson Welles together, like you were mentioning earlier, certain combinations of director and cinematographer where it's just a holy alliance.
Meant to be, yeah. Yeah, I love those kind of duos,
Me too.
When the right people meet and you're like, yep, this was.
Have you seen Jane Campion's Power of the Dog?
I have, yeah.
Wow. That's a powerful film. That's an amazing movie. Or have you seen Nocturnal Animals?
Nocturnal.
Tom Ford?
Whew,
that's a powerful film too. But just these films work on such a high level. Everything, the cinematography, the writing, the editing, the directing, the producing, the performances, everything's at a high level. Everything is masterful. That's what I like.
Well, and especially like in that era where you really, well, I guess I'm kind of contradicting myself because Citizen Kane or Orson Welles didn't really know it. He did what he did because of that. And he admits to it, and that's what makes it great. But at least when it comes to the photography of the movies and everything, I mean, you had to know what you were doing. You had to get the light meter. You had to understand your ratios, your speed film, like how many, stops of range you had in your shadows, your highlights, all that. And now, I mean, we got a screen up. Like they weren't looking at the monitors back then.
There was no playback.
There was no playback. No,
and the deep focus, deep focus in Citizen Kane.
Oh, great!
You have three layers of actors: foreground, midground, and background, and everybody is crystal clear. And what was Citizen Kane? 1940?
Yeah, I remember. That sounds about right. 38, 40.
I can't remember now. But oh my God, the cinematography in that movie, Greg Toland's work. Well, I remember the first time I saw it, I was just blown away.
Yeah, and like the staging of it, right? I mean, that calls to mind the first scene when he's playing outside and the guy's talking about like taking the kid and like you said, the layers of it, but it's not even just like cool deep focus. It's like everyone is in a particular place for a purpose and it all means something. And that's really like
everything is intentional.
Yeah.
Everywhere where they're standing, the area that they move around in, the things that they're doing, and you're watching it all at the same time. And the brain's taking it all in and processing it. Like, wow, there's so much here to engage you.
Yeah.
Oh, those films they're just amazing. I'm feeling like we're losing the craftsmanship now, but we've gone digital. Nobody knows how to light films for film anymore.
Yeah.
They're not shooting in 35 millimeter hardly anymore.
Yeah.
So who's going to learn how to light for film if they're not using film?
Yep.
It's going to get lost.
And
that's kind of a shame.
People back then just weren't afraid to use hard light and stuff too. Now everything is like so soft. It kind of starts to look this. I mean, there's still great cinematographers and great work out there. Don't get me wrong, but there is a kind of, sameness.
A sameness to it. Yes. Yes.
One of you had a Rear Window is in that box set there.
Yes.
And Rear Window, I think is
1941 Citizen
41.
Kane.
Okay. You got it. I think that has one of the best openings. And man, in that first introduction of Jimmy Stewart's character where there's no dialogue and the camera
pans
and it gives you all the information you need to know about him without saying a word.
That's what Hitchcock used to refer to as pure cinema.
Yeah. Great direction.
Pure cinema. You don't need dialogue. I'm going to tell you the story with visuals, and you're going to see this picture of this and a picture of that and a picture of this, and you're going to connect the dots. Your mind is going to put it all together. Oh, okay, he was in a car accident. Now we see, and he's a photographer. That's
he's got a girlfriend. He's got this. Yeah,
that's craftsmanship. That's what I'm talking about. That's exactly what I'm talking about. But anyway, we're singing the praises of physical media. And I'm always going to be a fan of it. I also love my vinyl. I love to listen to vinyl. I think vinyl has the richest sound. I enjoy CDs too, but do they sound as good as vinyl? No. I don't want to hear somebody's saliva in their mouth. I don't want to hear them breathing. When you put the headphones on a CD, you can hear all of that. You can even hear false starts. Somebody starts to sing and then stops. Which you can't hear if you don't put the headphones on, but on a record, you're not going to hear any of that.
Yeah.
You're just not. And the sound is so rich.
It makes me think of watching a film print, right? Where even with vinyl, like I said, with film, there's a texture to it, like the needle on the actual material itself. And there's a little extra sound in there. And with film, what's cool, and that's why I'm such a nerd for going to places like New Beverly and Vista, and why anytime I can get a little extra money, I shoot on 60 millimeter myself. In watching film prints, I just love knowing that it is the real physical, the photos. Like there's 24 pictures per second going.
And there's something with the way the light plays with the nitrate, the film nitrate.
Yeah, you get a little bit of
the way they intermingle, the way they mix together, the blend of it, of the two things that you just can't replicate that with digital,
Yeah. I love that. So just something in knowing that it's there, it exists. It's not on a hard drive that someone might delete.
Yeah.
At some point.
Well, that's another thing that we mentioned earlier, just that push a button and it's gone.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's it. That'll be a wrap.
That's just, how many times in the early days did we do that with photographs, let's say? I pushed a button and, oh my God, I just deleted 57 pictures that I'll never get back. And I needed those pictures gone.
Yeah.
No backup. They just disappeared into the ether.
Yeah.
But I love it though, bro. I really do enjoy it. I mean, we both love cinema. And and when we say cinema, there'll be a certain kind of film that you will love and then maybe I won't like.
Yeah.
But there's so many different kinds of films. There's so many different types of cinema.
Yeah.
There's got to be something for everybody in there.
Definitely.
You're going to find something you're going to love. And if the more open-minded you are, the more likely you are to be satisfied by the experience of watching films.
The more you get to enjoy, man. Like there's so many flavors. Like sometimes you eat your vegetables, and sometimes you're watching the Toxic Avenger.
Yeah,
Troma.
And sometimes you're eating stuff that doesn't have any sugar, and maybe it's a little bitter.
Right?
Like real Japanese tea, you don't get all that sugar like you do with Arizona tea, but you still enjoy it.
Yeah,
and you develop a taste for it. But this idea of just closing your mind, no, I don't want to see that. 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 Oh, good Lord. That's just so boring.
Yeah.
Eventually there's just nothing. It's going to be so narrow, people's tastes. And that's like the sameness that you referred to earlier. That's what I'm talking about.
Right.
That's the cancer for me. Oh, there's nothing worse than that. Variety is the spice of life, folks.
Yeah.
Sameness is just flat out boring.
Yeah, a lot of formulaic stuff coming out. I mean, there's still movies coming out that are rip-offs of Die Hard. Stuff like, just say, let's copy paste it.
Don't you hate it when you already know where the movie's going?
Yeah, so I know exactly.
I know where this is going, and it's like, oh man, I'm never gonna get these this hour and a half back. I've lost it forever. But no, for people like you and me, I think physical media is always going to be vital and important.
Yeah.
To us, And of course, all the packaging and stuff is something I enjoy as a collector. I like it. I like the booklets. I like the cards, the postcards, and, the posters and all the little accoutrement that goes with it, right? I do enjoy that very, very much. So it's just the total package. It's a win-win for me.
Yeah.
I know it's a little expensive, but you can always find deals. And they sell a lot of used. They're just like brand new. Somebody watched it once and didn't like it.
Yeah.
You get it for half price or whatever.
That is the thing. Like now, especially if you go to a place like Amoeba Records, which, man, if they ever close down, it's going to be a sad day.
Lord, I walk in that place, I'm just like a kid in a candy store.
Yeah, every time.
I don't know. I'm like, Linda Blair in The Exorcist. My head's like 360 degrees. I don't know where to look.
Yeah.
It's sensory overload is what it is. I walk in there and it's like, and there's 2 floors. Oh God. I'm already freaking out on the first floor. I can't even imagine what going up to the second floor is going to be like.
Yeah. Yeah. I always leave with the stack. I'm like, all right, maybe I'll pick up one Blu-ray or something. And next thing I know, I'm going up to the
I'm going to go in
like
for
this.
one thing. Yeah, right. Yeah. In your dreams, Pedro, in your dreams.
Well, I mean, before we start wrapping it up real quick, I want to ask you, I mean, what are some, if you could name like 3 or 5 favorite films of all time? I know that's always putting on the spot. And
no, you know what else?
Day-to-day,
I'll come out and say, I love The Letter. William Wyler. I love William Wyler as a director. I absolutely love that man. So talented. But he did a film with Bette Davis. And, Bette Davis was a very strong personality. And it took a strong director to rein her in and, offer suggestions that were going to improve her performance. And she's brilliant in The Letter.
Okay.
It's one of her better films, but it's a very beautifully crafted movie. And this is the ultimate compliment to a movie. I can watch it over and over and over. I will never get bored, and I will always find something new that I did not notice in a prior viewing. That's the sign of a good movie. The fact that people have told me they can't even count how many times they've watched this film. I'm not saying American Me is a masterpiece, but I'm saying that people love to view it over and over and over again. They always enjoy it. They like to go what I call go on the ride. They like this ride. It's a ride they enjoy. Do you get tired of the Haunted Mansion?
No.
I'll go on it a million times. I enjoy it. I enjoy the ride. I look at different things, different times I go on it. And films are the same way. I love all this stuff. But that's one film, The Letter, that I really love. And I'll tell you a foreign gangster film that I absolutely love from France from 1995. It's called La Haine.
I just watched that for the first time a couple months ago.
Matthew, I can't remember what his last name is. But anyway, it's Matthew something.
Yeah.
Beautifully crafted film, man. The guy's so confident and sure of himself. Did you enjoy it?
I did. The end crushed me.
Oh, it's a banger.
Yeah, it's a good one.
It really is. That's a really great film. I love Citizen Kane. I really do enjoy it. I know it's very theatrical. The performances are a little bit actory, a little stagey, but the way that film is edited and the way it's shot, man, sometimes I just look at it and go, how the F did they do that? How did they make that fireplace look huge and the person look tiny, and then the person moves forward and the person looks huge and the fireplace looks tiny? And there's no CGI. What?
Yeah.
It looks better than CGI.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's real. That's a really excellent film. I love to watch Hitchcock. Psycho, man. I never get tired of Psycho. Anthony Perkins, killing off your female lead in the first 30 minutes. That took some BALLS.
Yeah.
Janet Leigh was a big star, bro.
Yeah.
You know, it's like hiring a big star from today, Scarlett Johansson, and killing her ass off in the first half hour of the film. People might miss the first half hour, walk in and wonder, where the hell is Scarlett Johansson? Well,
yeah,
she was in the movie, but she's not in it anymore. No, it's just really, brilliant stuff, Yeah. And then let's not even talk about the classic Mexican films from the golden age of Mexican cinema. Mm-hmm. Oh, God. You're talking... I had the great honor to work with another great cinematographer, Gabriel Figueroa, who shot a lot of those films from back in the day. And I had, he was a very old man when I worked with him, but he was a character, man. He was a character. Nice. And I just considered it an honor to work with that guy. I learned more about him later than I did know about him at the time I worked with him. But when I found out, because we didn't have the internet then, once we got the internet and I could look him up and I saw his history, I thought, wow, I worked with a master. An absolute master. But there's a lot of films. Like I mentioned Nocturnal Animals, a more recent film, with Amy Adams and Jake Gyllenhaal. Ooh, that's a great film. Tom Ford. That film works on so many levels. This is how great it is. Same thing with Power of the Dog. You can watch it once, but you will not get the full experience until 2, maybe 3 viewings. That's when you can start to say you've seen the movie. That's how deep it is. One viewing, you're not going to get it all.
Right.
It's so deep and so multi-layered. There's so many, that onion has got so much to peel. You're not going to peel it in one viewing. That I love. That's craftsmanship.
Yeah.
When somebody infuses a movie with that much meaning. Wow, that just blows me away. There are so many great films.
Yeah.
The Servant. I can't even begin to mention all the great films. It's so hard to just pick 10. But cinema is just so inspiring. That's what it does to me. It makes me, feel proud to say that I'm a filmmaker, an actor, producer, writer, whatever. It makes me feel like, wow, this is art. This is an art form, and I'm proud to be a part of it, Even though the commercial side of it can be kind of tacky and crass and, lowest common denominator.
Yeah.
LCD, I like to say. But nonetheless, there's still so much greatness and so much masterful work that was done over the years and is still being done today. Thank God for that.
Yeah.
So, man, I know I can go on and on, but this has been a pleasure. I have enjoyed this so much. I hope everybody watching this has had as much fun as I have, because this was just a joy to do this today.
Yeah, no, it was a blast. I'm glad you brought everything. I know you had to travel with it.
I brought it all the way from San Antonio.
Yeah, no, it was fun to talk about all this, man. Thanks again for coming out. And anybody that's watching this, if you were expecting us to get into your career and all that, we've got another episode from a few years ago, the first time Danny was on the show. So you can, just look through the Drinks in a Movie YouTube channel and you'll find the humble beginnings of this podcast. I mean, you were, I think, the second kind of big guest that I had back in the garage days. So I'm grateful to,
look at how far you've come since then, though. I'm very proud of you for what you've done over the years. It's wonderful. Yeah. And for the audience that you've gained, and you deserve it. You deserve to have even more viewers come on board and, and enjoy what you have to offer. But it was a pleasure to be here today. I really, really enjoyed it. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to share this with people. Yeah. This is a side of me that I don't think the fans really know,
Right.
They see me as an actor and they like my work, but they don't know how much I love what I do.
Yeah.
How much I love movies and how meaningful it is to me. I love theater as well. Mm-hmm. We mentioned The Brown Hat.
Yeah.
Just in closing, it's a play that you got to see. It's about 4 Chicanos who were in the Brown Beret in the early 70s, and they haven't seen each other in about 25 years. And at the funeral of one of their friends, they gather after the funeral in a garage where they used to have their meetings back in the day. And they haven't seen each other in, over 2 decades, and they reminisce. And it's a powerful piece. Mm-hmm. It's a beautiful, very evocative, poignant, funny.
Yeah.
It's funny. Mm-hmm. You're going to get a lot of good laughs, but Yeah, it's a powerful play. About an hour and 20 minutes, and it's a ride.
Now, was it an hour 20?
Not even that, an hour and 15 most of the time.
I was going to say it flew by. It really
does
flew
fly by. Once you get on that train, baby, that train ain't going to stop until it hits the station. And there's a few little bumps in the road there, but it's a good play. I encourage everybody, if you hear about The Last Angry Brown Hat, go see it. You will not be disappointed. Thank you, Mr. Rudy, for today. I enjoyed myself immensely.
All right. Thank you.
That margarita really got me going.
Yeah. Yeah, I wasn't mad. All right. Well, that's a wrap on this one, everybody. Cheers. Thank you for listening to the Drinks and a Movie podcast. You can now find us on Instagram at Drinks and a Movie Pod, where we'll be posting photos from all the various films that we discuss. You can also email us at drinksandamoviepod@gmail.com. Please rate, review, and subscribe, and thank you for listening.